What's up, y'all? I've been reading Carl Jung's autobiography, Memories, Dreams, Reflections. It's really good. I'm getting a grip on who he really was. I mean, I just knew bits and pieces of him, but now reading his biography is very interesting. And it does mention the Red Book, which I'll get in a couple weeks. Um, but he says, like, everything revealed in the Red Book was his emotional crisis, and his psychological perception of the unconscious was all spawned from that. Like, everything started with that. So, it's just, he was such a private individual, I believe, and such a logical individual about this out there themes, because he had a triple conjunction in Taurus, Neptune, Pluto, and his moon. So his moon, the moon is how your emotions work, and in Taurus is very stable. Like, he criticizes Nietzsche a little too much, I think, because he says he distanced himself from Nietzsche, but he had a lifelong fascination with him, but he distanced himself from him for fear he would suffer the same fate, mental illness in his old age. And I think so many people just throw that card out there, and I think it's completely wrong. Like, he fell and hit his head. It wasn't. It could have been, syphilis that he got from the Franco-Prussian War, but it's not because he was crazy. Like, Carl Jung just keeps saying that, like, Nietzsche lived in his own head, whereas Carl Jung wanted to experience this life, and, this existence, and not just live in your head. But I'd have to say that Nietzsche was about this life. That's why his most personal book was called the Gay Science, the Joyful Wisdom, because he wants to see how this life is fully necessary. His whole formula for existence is amor fati, love of fate, love of what is necessary, and to want what is necessary. And that's essentially what the eternal recurrence is about too. It's just, if you had to live this life over and over again, would you want to? Did you live it to the fullest, and you'd want to just experience it again and again? So I think Carl Jung did not understand Nietzsche as profoundly as perhaps I did, because a lot of people, well, this one specific person in conversations with Nietzsche said that an unemotional mode of thought was far from Nietzsche's nature. And I want to touch on this because Nietzsche's expansiveness, big picture planet, Jupiter, was in Pisces, a very emotional, empathetic sign. And his emotions, his moon, was in a very philosophical sign, Sagittarius. So, I mean, it's like his emotions were philosophical and his thoughts were emotional. Like, he's a very distinct combination of prophetic insight along with modern day logic, you know. But I am glad that the Jung biography starts off with a criticism of science, because it doesn't take into account the mythological character of existence. And Jung just he's always stepping back from himself, fearing that he won't get an objective enough view of his experiences. But I think he's trying to play it safe, but I think that's actually a dangerous technique, because if you don't see yourself as partaking, yeah, you want to observe it in a rational way, but if it's a completely emotional, hunch-like, intuitive feeling, I don't think, um, logic has done much except helped us communicate the chaos that is, innate. But yeah, um, y'all have a good one. Can't think of much right now.